since week 5, just because of Dark Quanix, bringing some fun matchups, this has definitely been one of my favorites. So excited to see the outcome.
That's still my favorite series.
Yeah,
Dark Quanix games.
yeah. Just because we had no idea what was in that deck at first. No idea, even as the day went on, when we knew the deck, like the decision making that went into a lot of the plays that he did.
Oh.
Oh.
She has a Grove Tender in her Druid deck.
Yeah, she had a Grove Tender in her Druid deck in week 5.
Oh, that's
as well.
right. The previous week too. That's
So-
funny. I wonder if she can mill the handlock player. No, you can't. She's going to be too far along with the mana curve. This is most likely going to force another mana crystal, I think. Wait,
Druid.
what happens if you give a mana crystal to your opponent?
You would.
This is interesting. I haven't played with Grove Tender too much. If you give a mana crystal, then your opponent can coin out the Drake. Because then they have 3 mana. Yeah, if you Grove Tender a card, they can play a Mountain Giant next turn. If you Grove Tender a mana crystal, they can't play Mountain Giant next turn. Okay, I'm convinced now.
Okay.
Because if they draw a card, Mountain Giant's gonna cost 3 next turn, and he's gonna have 3 mana.
You convincing yourself just convinced me.
Good, good, good. I'm glad you're following the system.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's still it's sort of a weird card to play regardless.
I mean, maybe she's not even thinking about playing it because you have to choose one. You can't just play the 2/4 body. But
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be ramping the mana crystals here. Ramping a card would be a grave mistake.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Yikes.
Oh boy.
Well, that gets a Mountain Giant a turn quicker than FlyBird was expecting. And that makes it so another one can come down next turn as well. That's... FlyBird's got to be feeling pretty good about that. Thank you very much.
Huh. Well, I mean, when Amy has this kind of start and your opponent has 2 Mountain Giants and Twilight Drake, it's just going to be very hard to stop. Well, I have no idea what to even do. If you're Druid, you're just going to get bullied for a very long time. Well, Sylvanas actually could change things.
It could be a swing card.
No, almost certain. Oh, never mind. There's a Ironbeak Owl.
You can hope that it'll be a swing card. But we know that it most likely will not be. And this could be a pretty big play here. What do you do with that extra 2 mana, though? Oh, sorry. Extra 1 mana. 2 mana with
I
the
suppose if you just a Humby Chow, it's okay.
Okay. So holding onto the coin.
Yeah, Zombie Chow is fine. It's like enough to challenge what's on board.
Or
too.
holds. That way your Twilight Drake is stronger for the following turn.
I have no time for games.
So this is what's going to hurt. It's like the 2 giants smacking, and then there's the Ironbeak Owl as well.
So Ironbeak Owl, Smack, Coin, Shadowflame? Or is that too
No, just
bold?
Twilight Drake as well on top of it.
Okay.
It's fine. 4/10. Like this is just starting to snowball way out of control here. Wait, interestingly enough, Sylvanas still does a lot of damage to the point where you can actually still stabilize here if you're Druid. You just Wrath.
Wrath and Keeper? Well, if you do that, then you won't have Keeper for the Twilight Drake.
Twilight Drake. Maybe you Savage Roar,
That's a possibility as well.
but then you give up the rest of your turn essentially.
And you're still taking a lot of damage in that situation.
Right.
I guess you're
Maybe
not really in much danger.
maybe
but
you
still.
silence. I don't know. It's a little bit hard to say.
Well, still though, that's at least she's able to deal with the threats, but she's
How
used
has she
so
escaped
much.
with no damage this like so far? That's just mind-boggling. She's gonna hope. I think she's gonna hope that her opponent also taunts something up and use Black Knight to swing it.
That could allow her to have an opportunity to come back in this game, but At this point, why does FlyBird even have a need to taunt something up? I mean, maybe with a Defender of Argus to try and get a more favorable trade, but that's the only scenario that I could think of where FlyBird would even have to do that. It would just seem unnecessary.
Well, it generally feels like Handlock's in full control right now. I really don't feel like FlyBird's in danger whatsoever. If he simply pushes with like Dr. Boom and just starts shoving against Druid. If he wants to dig again and be like on the side that he wants to start making sure keeping his hand full, he can tap in the Sludge Belcher, but I generally think you should just start being aggressive against Druid, right?
Yeah, I think Dr. Boom is this is a fantastic turn.
Tap Belcher.
In a way, I guess you do want to get deeper into your deck. Because after Dr. Boom, you don't have too many options as far as plays go. You have Sludge Belcher, but pretty much nothing else. Everything else is a little bit situational.
He hovered over his Ancient Watcher as if he wanted to taunt that up, but that feels a lot worse than Sludge Belcher.
I might actually think about throwing my Owl into the Ancient of Lore.
I don't think you have to hedge your bets against swipe, because this is not a good swipe target at all. There's really nothing that you can do.
But this isn't a good anything board. For Druid.
Okay, yeah, but I'm saying it's not necessarily like an ideal scenario where like swipe can do much stuff here.
That's true.
So I think Amy is gonna have to use some combo to clear here. It doesn't look like she's gonna be able to get away without it.
Still got to go about it the right way, and it's still going to leave stuff on the board.
Right. It seems to be the best course of action. She might even be in danger of dying if she doesn't end up clearing, because of just how much damage exists.
We'll see how she goes about this.
Okay, so she's just going to kill off Sylvanas then?
Okay. This is taking the maximum amount of power off the board, as well as getting rid of Sylvanas. Pesky Sylvanas.
So that way Dr. Boom can be strong as possible.
Twilight Drake is pretty problematic as well because it's a higher health total. But I think that's the most efficient way to use the combo in that situation. Still though, Magicamy is in a pretty bad spot.
Well, because Dr. Boom comes out, and she lost all of her initiative. The way she can seize it back is if FlyBird plays Dr. Boom, and she draws a big game hunter along with some ways to be defensive. Because she's looking at dying next turn right now.
Yeah. And I guess this is...
Or unless she's playing Poison Seeds.
And I guess this is the nature of the matchup. It's just so hard. When you're bringing Druid into a format like this, expecting players to bring Handlock, you're wanting to dodge the Handlock and try and get into like a warrior matchup, but...
The fact that she had both of the players draw a card is what really did her in. The problem is that with Grove Tender, either way you're ramping Warlock. Warlock ramps through their card draw early on, so that way all of their minions get way stronger, like Twilight Drake and Mountain Giant. So Handlock isn't necessarily a control deck, it's more of a ramp deck. And you just ramped Warlock on both ends.
Yeah, and Handlock just ramps harder because their ramp is like easier to access than Druid, because Druid relies on having the draw of Wild Growth. Whereas Handlock's ramp is sort of innately built into the class. You do have to draw into your threats, but it's a lot easier to draw into the multiple threats that Handlock has than it is to draw into Wild Growth early enough for it to be effective.
I think FlyBird was trying to calculate if he had a lethal opportunity, but...
If a bomb hit face, It
It's
would
like
be.
looks like he doesn't have it.
Yeah, if a bomb had hit face for 2, he could have Hellfired to push through. But it did not. And so now that's just really awkward. Still though, in a good spot. Amy's
Yeah,
just sort
I
of like
don't think
bleeding
Amy
out.
can do anything from here. She's still can't deal with Dr. Boom. She's on her last 10th of health. And everything she's drawing is just, like, it's just to draw another card so that way she can do something. So that's going to mean FlyBird takes the first game here. And we're going to go straight into Mage versus Druid. That's also a tough matchup.
I think this outcome was pretty expected. There's just not too many opportunities.
He did play it earlier, but maybe he didn't make the connection.
Or maybe FlyBird was napping.
He could be. I mean, it
'Cause
is a very long broadcast.
FlyBird is playing from Taiwan, and Magicamy is playing from Korea. So both of these players are well into the early morning. And it's starting to get late, even over here in Burbank. And we're starting to get tired after a long broadcast, so imagine the players who are halfway across the globe.
Yeah, it's like 7 a.m. over there. Important card number 1 is being drawn here, but I think you're still looking for Lotheb if you have it. Now, another thing that's going to be important too is whether or not Druid's armor builds up to the point where like, if you Alexstrasza still has like 17 health, and then you heal up with Ancient of Lore, then you're still out of range. The most damage you can do in one turn, if you have Blood Mage Thalnos, a Fireball, Frostbolts, and 2 Ice Lances, is 21 damage. So a lot of times, you keep this in mind, and you want to at least have like 2 armor, so that way when you heal yourself with an Ancient of Lore, you can't die to anything. There's just no possible way.
True. I think that Antonidas plays a big deal in this matchup, though, because it gives you that extra reach. Or even after you Alexstrasza, you have a little bit of extra burn to just go through some of those heals. It's really tough to play, though. Like, this mage deck can be, especially against decks that are tougher.
Right. Freeze Mage is one of the hardest decks to play for sure.
Definitely.
It sometimes can play itself, depends on how things feel, but it definitely is on the trickier side of things.
And it can be frustrating to learn because the games are long, and when you lose, it's really demoralizing because you feel like there just wasn't much that you could do, even though there probably was. That's what makes it tough. It's hard to pinpoint where exactly you went wrong.
What do you do against double Spectre Knight? You need Frost Nova immediately, and not to mention that the Doomsayer still can get silenced. Whoa, man!
What does she need immediately there?
She needs Frost Nova.
Well, there it is.
And Frost Nova came. Now, the big question is, does her opponent have the Keeper of the Grove? And if so, by the way, do you hedge your bets by killing off like Shade of Naxxramas or killing off Spectre Knight? I don't know. It's pretty tough. There's a lot of small, intricate decisions here. She's thinking about suiciding the Mad Scientist as well to try to get some secrets. So it's Ice Block and Ice Barrier for sure, and she's popping the ice. Excuse me, the Mad Scientist too, so she can guarantee get the draws. No Keeper of the Grove here, but FlyBird can choose to draw, or I guess Pilot Shredder if you want to go for your own thing.
I don't think you can really do much. Just
Do you pass?
hero power pass.
I think there's legitimacy to wrathing for 1 here.
Okay.
I actually don't mind hero powering, because hero powering still gets an armor onto you. Tossing away 1 Ancient of Lore is okay, because you still have 1 to heal, but it's still one of those things where you have to be careful.
Yeah. That's bold. That's
And
a big
now
body.
Amy gets to draw. This is a very powerful spot to be in. Oh, is she thinking about coining Antonidas? That'd be so ballsy. And a little bit unnecessary.
Yeah, I think you want to... Coin is a really great tool for Antonidas. Not to get him out, but for when he's out. That's an extra fireball. In a situation, especially when you're just laying him.
If she plays Arcane Intellect, it's actually dangerous to drop our Accolade of Pain because of the draws. Second Doomsayer, that's interesting. Does she play another Doomsayer here to disincentivize FlyBird from playing anything? Then next turn, she has 7 mana, she can drop... No, never mind. You can do it on turn 7, so that way you can coin out Alexstrasza the following turn. No, never mind. It's just like one of these things. I was thinking out loud, sorry. Stream of consciousness.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
I'm going to stop talking because I've been actually chatting a little bit too much. So
I learned a lot from your ramblings. I'm sure other people do as well, so...
all I'm trying to do is tap into the mind of the player.
Okay.
Wow, second Ancient of Lore being used here, and that immediately tells me that I don't think FlyBird is completely well-versed in this matchup. That's a very crucial card to keep onto because of Alexstrasza.
Either that or he just doesn't know what type of mage it exactly is, but you gotta know at this point. And, there was a chance for FlyBird to actually make Amy overdraw the following turn. But that's really risky in itself, because you're giving draws, and you don't necessarily know that the card that they're going to discard was an important one. Now, Mage is actually... Freeze Mage is actually one of the decks that milling has the best effect on, because a lot of the pieces that are in their deck are crucial. Like if he had burned in Alexstrasza, or even just like a piece like Ice Lance, or second Fireball, or second Frostbolt, or something like that, it would be a pretty big deal.
Okay, so this is actually a very smart play from Amy on a lot of levels. The first thing is that both Ancient of Lords has been used, so there's almost no healing remaining in the Druid deck. So when you Alexstrasza, the most that you'll be able to gain life is 1, which means you're no longer seeking extended burst. All you have to do is guarantee to kill now that Ice Block is up. So when she has Alexstrasza and the burn, it doesn't matter if Antonidas dies. It's the fact that she already gotten 2 fireballs off of the coin Ice Lance. And the fact is, if Antonidas doesn't die, that's an additional bonus.
Yeah.
So this is a very, very smart play from Amy to convert the mana. The only thing that I don't like about it is that you don't Alexstrasza next turn. You Alexstrasza in 2 turns, which still gives a lot of room for some shenanigans of Druid to like pressure you and do some wild stuff.
And you still have to find a safe turn to play Alexstrasza.
Right.
Because there's an opportunity for a Druid, even with just a couple creatures on the board, to pop your Ice Block. And if they pop your Ice Block the turn before you Alexstrasza, it's not a safe turn. I don't think it's possible, but you never know. And he's okay with taking damage because he knows that Alexstrasza is going to come out eventually. So
it's starting to get to the point where there's almost enough burn to kill him without Alexstrasza. Oh, that's such a sick draw! Oh my goodness, you just use Cone of Cold and the Doomsayer immediately. Just pave the way for Alexstrasza. I think you even can... You don't have to draw anymore. I think you can kill off the Shade of Naxxramas. Because the Shade of Naxxramas is... What if your opponent silences the Doomsayer, the Shade of Naxxramas grows, and you're actually in a little bit of a trouble because you can't kill it off easily. You don't have Flame Strike. So I think you still ping off the Shade of Naxxramas here.
There's just not much else that you can do with that 2 mana. You already have all the pieces that you're going to need to win. So the only other thing you would do in that situation is like play a Loot Hoarder.
The Loot Hoarder is not necessary though. You have all the cards you need, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, yeah.
I mean, the Loot Hoarder's going to die too anyways from the draw. Okay. I guess it's... Oh, well, she actually can deal with the Doomsayer now.
And that becomes pretty scary. It plays into like Flame Strike really, really well. Like your board's just littered with 4 health creatures across, but... yeah, you can't really afford to give up that much.
Yeah, I think FlyBird also misread too, because now he doesn't even have an easy. Oh. Oh, Oh, he could kill the Doomsayer by double charging the Druid Claw. Oh man, FlyBird definitely dropped the ball in this game for sure. Like, I mean, it's you know, as commentators, it's so easy for us to talk about mistakes versus what's optimal. But in this scenario, there's almost there's just like nothing he can do here now because he gave up his board one more time. That was his last chance. But here, like, nothing can happen anymore.
He might not have the experience because there's some things about the matchup where it's not like a read that you have to make to know.
It's true.
Like the saving the Ancient of Lore is just like general knowledge against the Freeze Mage. So.
Oh, FlyBird has played a lot of matchups correctly, especially when it comes to like his handlock. But in this scenario, he's definitely just not playing optimally at all. He's gonna die very quickly here, and it doesn't even really matter. The Fireball allows him to push through, and then he has Fireball, Ice Lance.
I think he wins.
Yep.
Fireball, Frostbolt even.
Well, you just Fireball the 4/6, and then you push for the rest of the damage in the game. So that's a very quick game too, just because this matchup is very fast usually with Druid either winning and pressuring or Mage just overwhelming. But that was a matchup that I really thought FlyBird had a strong chance in, especially since he drew a lot of the cards he needed.
Yeah.
It meets the eye. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, but the way you said it, it was like, oh, there's a Transformer in there?
Yeah. It's just, I mean, that's what a Pilot Shredder is.
Or
more
a
than
Metal
meets the
Tooth
eye.
Leaper is like an actual Transformer reference, I think.
A Metal Tooth Leaper is a Zoid.
No, it was the Transformers, the Beast, whatever the Beast. Age of
No. Transformer are the pilot mechs, dude.
Okay.
The pilot Sky Golem, Sneeds.
No, they're just a shredder that somebody rides in.
Is Megatron. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
You know, but you were onto something though. The Metal Tooth Leaper from Hunter is a Zoid. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what a Zoid is, but it's also a Transformer from the cartoon when they were all. It's a saber-tooth tiger Transformer. Don't you remember? What is that? What was that version of the show called? Transformers, but the actual like dinosaur Beast Wars. From
our admin's yelling at us and looking at us like we're idiots.
Beast Wars, yeah, from Transformers Beast Wars. The Metal Tooth Leaper is right out of that. But yeah, Mal'Ganis, as you can see in your hand.
Yes. Okay. So, anyways, that was what's
That's the
more
real
than
one.
ECI.
Yeah.
I wonder what Mal'Ganis brings to this matchup specifically, besides really badass graphics.
Yeah. It actually, we didn't even see it in her first matchup. We saw it, but didn't see it played in her second match. So maybe we'll see it in the third one.
Well, this doesn't feel good for FlyBird. He doesn't actually have a way to deal with any threat.
And there's some pretty substantial threats that are going to come out here.
Definitely.
No execute. No shield slam.
So this, you can already get a strong reading. If your opponent had shield block, shield slam, he'd use it, right? Over playing Sludge Belcher?
Yeah. Even though this fits curve.
No execute?
Yeah, you can pretty much get a read that there's no removal whatsoever. This is a near automatic Mountain Giant play. But then...
You think so?
I don't know.
Sludge Belcher might also be okay.
Yeah, I think so as well, because you can't Mountain Giant tap unless you feel like throwing away your coin.
Throwing away the coin is... I mean, the more I see it, the more it's like I want to get value off of that coin, even in the late game like Draxus. Or you can reach, like, that next turn you can Dr. Boom, which is great.
Coining out Sylvanas is also an option.
Yeah, I think you can save it for... You don't need to coin out Sylvanas here. The state of the board doesn't need to be controlled that much, and she's not even that reasonable of a threat compared to Dr. Boom next turn. So
it's definitely a tough play. Tough turn.
Well, I like Sludge Belcher the more I look at it, just solely because... Oh, she's gonna use the coin here?
If she's coining right now, then it's gonna be... Well, I guess it would... You wouldn't... Okay, it goes to the Sludge Belcher.
You're right there, TJ.
Yeah. Well, okay, so she could have coined and then tapped and then Mountain Giant.
Right.
Or coined Sylvanas.
Okay.
So...
She actually could have coined out Mountain Giant too, but that wouldn't have done anything.
No, that would have just been throwing away the coin for absolutely no reason.
Well, to not have 10 cards in the hand, I suppose.
She would have had 8 cards at that point.
She's playing around Cold Light Oracle at that point.
Oh, even then you'd still lose a card.
Yeah, just not 2 cards.
That's true. The old Cold Light Oracle Control Warrior. It's making a comeback.
So it looks like FlyBird is pretty intent on getting a pretty secure board, so that way either Gorehowl or Dr. Boom could have high impact, but I don't know, I really thought Shield Maiden was going to come out that turn too, because Fiery War Axe still has late game relevance. In other matchups, sometimes Fiery War Axe doesn't do anything, like throughout the entire game. Like for example, Warrior versus Warrior, Fiery War Axe, outside of the early game relevance of killing an Acolyte, there's just no target. Just like you have Baron get in. It's like you're just not going to Fiery War Axe that thing down. You know, you have Shield Maiden. You're not going to. That's the best Fiery War Axe can usually do.
The slime from a Sledge Belcher is
exactly.
like Fiery War Axe
But
fodder in the mirror matchup.
In this matchup, Fiery War Axe actually still has some relevance because even if they have Jiraxes, that's 15 health. That plus the that plus the Cruel Taskmaster and the Grommash is 15 damage.
Yeah.
It's always relevant.
Or
And,
even if you get to like Fatigue Wars, and getting the extra damage in can be definite plus.
He might be looking at having to premature brawl. Maybe he can Whirlwind with his Acolyte and draw something though. That actually might be better now that he picked that up. But prior to that, I was like, well, now that Dr. Boom got coined out here that we were talking about earlier, are you just going to Gorehowl that down and give up all your armor? No, I think you have to draw for something, and if this is not drawing Execute or Shield Slam...
BGH wouldn't be that bad either.
Yeah.
But this is also going to gain a lot of armor, too.
Yeah, it's true. The bots couldn't take it away.
Oh, yeah. I need these bots.
Looks like one of the slimes is dead. Dr. Boom lives. This is really bad news.
Oh, that's fantastic, though.
Well, that's a pretty unfortunate sequence.
Yeah.
For a Magicamy. But FlyBird still has no executes, no shield slams.
And still 2 big threats left on the board.
Yeah, pretty significant.
Just throwing out the Armor Smith.
You can shred almost all of its armor with FlyBird right now.
Throwing out the Armor Smith like a feather in the wind. Well, this hand is filled with a lot of shiny legendaries.
1, 2, 3. 3 legendaries, yeah.
And they're all shiny.
I guess Magigamy's like, well, like, how important is it to control the armor count if she doesn't have Shield Slam?
Mm-hmm. And you know, there's so many, Shield Slam would have, but maybe you also have to think, well, if there hasn't been a Shield Slam yet, maybe there's going to be a Shield Slam, but you can't really bank on that fact.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the likelihood, but until he has it, he doesn't have it. Like,
whoa, so deep.
This is a saying that I guess I use all the time, but it's like, there's no point in playing around it, something that is not there.
I guess, I
FlyBird
understand exactly what you
looks
mean.
defeated because it's like, where are my executes and shield slam? Do I have to brawl here?
Yeah.
I think you can make a very strong case for brawl, but what if... I know this sounds like blasphemy, but what if Armor Smith doesn't win the brawl? And then there's just a giant remaining.
Ouch. That's what. But, I mean, there's a pretty likelihood because you're okay with Acolyte of Pain, you're okay with Armor Smith, you're okay with Zombie Chow. So it's a 50-50 chance that something good comes out of that. Even Twilight Drake, probably not too upset.
Well, amusingly enough, it might even come to the point where FlyBird can Shield Slam something no matter what, because on turn 10, he'll be able to Shield Block into Shield Maid into Shield Slam.
And
that doesn't have much relevance, but I'm using that to describe to you how irrelevant that feels at the moment.
But in a way, you can take solace in the fact, if you're the Warrior player, that you got through the early game, or you got through that much game without using removal. So then you know you're going to have the removal later on.
I suppose so. He's really banking that this digs. He's going to brawl. He has to brawl.
So
now, he should armor up too, right?
yeah, in a way, if he wins this brawl.
Oh, no!
Ouch!
Oh, and he didn't even. Oh, did he get the armor up? He
got
did.
the armor up.
Oh, that hurts so badly.
Ouch!
I think Ragnaros is instant call here. Absolutely. It's just like you just pressure him. He couldn't deal with the 8/8s, and it's like it's very clear that he has no executes, didn't have a shield slam, and you shed the remaining armor. Warrior, I thought Warrior was supposed to be good in this matchup against Handlock, but not when it's like this.
No.
Ragnaros right back.
It's actually likely that you do draw into removal for at least like one of the first 4 threats.
What if Rag misses both of these targets? I'm being.
Ouch.
That's a real concern here.
Judging
if Rag
by
misses both of these targets, he plays a Molten Giant Siphon Souls.
judging by his luck so far this game, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh my god. This is
And a
real.
BGH! Oh no!
This game is not real. Are you serious? She's furling her brow because she can't even begin to fathom the likelihood that these chances happen. Like, this actually is not supposed to happen.
Wow.
This
And-
game is over. What can you do?
Well, BGH comes, but that BGH is about 8 turns too late. We haven't seen a single shield slam, a single execute, and Rag missed both targets. FlyBird is one.
Okay,
He's sad.
you can do that. Okay, he has execute, but he just concedes, and you know what? I absolutely do not blame it.
But it still, I don't think, has a favorable matchup against Handlock. And I think that he would have been better off with Warrior in all 3 matchups.
I think he would have been better off with Handlock. I thought Handlock mirror would have been inevitable. I don't mind though, personally. I like to see more variety. And we've seen plenty of Handlock and Warrior this weekend. Magicamy is 1 game away from going to the finals and having an all-tempo Storm finals, which would be a good bounce back for the team, to say the least. And, you know, just to be quite honest, Tempo Storm's had very subpar results recently. Being exited out very early in rounds and not being a threat to win tournaments. But if one of them is guaranteed to go to the finals, that's already a pretty good accomplishment to rebound.
And you would be giddy. Giddy with delight.
Yeah, I would. And I wouldn't have to fire Rayned.
You would be you'd be prancing through the studios after this matchup.
I always joke about it, and he always gives me this like weird whimsical look, like he's about to say something really solid to me, and I'm like, oh no, what have I done?
Well, as soon as I saw the brackets earlier today, before we went live, I said I think it's actually pretty likely that we'll see a Tempo Storm.
Well, hold on, this game is not over by any means, and just look at the way Druid's been able to curve things out. He'll have double fire drop pretty on time. He doesn't have a silence for the Twilight Drake, but he's got some stuff to do. Okay, he's got the silence for the Twilight Drake.
That's nice.
Right on time. But even more important than that is dealing with the continual threats, and especially if Sylvanas comes down and you use your silence on the Twilight Drake, how do you deal with Sylvanas in this matchup? Druid has a really difficult time removing that card without Keeper the Grove.
It's really tough, and this turn is a little bit awkward as well after the Keeper.
Oh, you just innervate the Shade of Maximus, I think. Oh! Oh, wow, I wasn't expecting that.
Just pass? Eee.
Yes, I was not expecting that at all. That was very interesting.
You have to, I think in this matchup, you have to play fast. You have to use Innervate as leverage for a bigger board. Granted, that would have been a pretty good Hellfire board.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He played around Hellfire. You're correct.
But still, I don't think you can afford a lot of the time to play around Hellfire
No, you're
that
right.
conservatively.
It's a good analysis. I think he was playing around Hellfire. Is he contemplating innervating Ragnaros out here? After what he just did to you? I don't think so.
It's the best way, though. Positive
I
reinforcement.
remember one finals of an event I saw in Wild Growth, double Innervate Ragnaros into a Faceless Ragnaros. And it kept hitting the Handlock face. And then Handlock, Faceless, the Ragnaros. I forgot what happened, but RDU won.
That's the
the question mark, RDU profited.
that's the gist of a lot of tournaments that RDU wins.
Ragnaros coin flips. Shots fired.
Or no, like just random stuff. Hi mom, question mark, RDU wins.
Oh man, we have an RDU hater in the house.
I don't know. No, I wasn't saying that. I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Sylvanas is a very difficult card now that Keeper of the Groves used. I like that she's in tune. Normally you're inclined to play threats like Twilight Drake, but in this case she's making sure that she can disrupt the flow of Druid as best as she can.
Yeah. And this is really problematic. And she's sitting pretty healthy here. And a lot of these cards from FlyBird are very, very situational. The Big Game Hunter is a good thing to have just because it'll help deal with Rag or a Giant that'll come down. But it doesn't help her, or doesn't help him in this situation. So what does he do here?
I'm not exactly sure. You could use Savage Roar to clear, but that does give away a minion. Oh no, you can't. You wouldn't even kill off a minion. I say that you have to live with the consequences. Like you drew the claw, charge, and just go face. You have Savage Roar.
Yikes.
Druid of the Claw, Innervate Savage Roar only does 7, 11, 19 damage, and that wasn't enough. She was at 20, I think, so, or 21.
But this line of play does put Magicamy in a position where she has to answer the board because there's a big threat of lethal coming out, and 14 health is still in Molten Giant range, but it doesn't allow much follow-up after Molten Giant would come out.
Right.
So it does limit the options here just a bit.
Well, trying to think about all of her options here. The mana curve is a little bit awkward because turn 7 doesn't give her the ability to drop a threat plus taunt.
Yeah.
With at least, oh, you can Sun Fury Protector.
Yeah, I think
Twilight
Drake taunt. Yeah. Molten Giant could be risky just because of BGH. Either way, would be risky. It wouldn't be risky to keep her because the keeper would go on to the Sylvanas most likely. And yeah, I think that's the best choice.
It is a very important turn too because it's if FlyBird draws the combo, then that can decide the game. So now no longer the Force of Nature becomes lethal, I believe. So I think you can go for a board clear.
Yeah. Just toss him in and
swipe.
Swipe the middle.
So swipe gives you 4 mana remaining, so I guess Harrison Jones would be surprisingly effective against Jiraxis, but I don't know if the game will get to that point.
No, I don't think it would, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's definitely a possibility because this game has been a little bit slower than normal.
Oh, man.
But,
so if FlyBird does the swipe, that's going to enable Molten Giant to play for 3 and allow Magicamy to also play Sludge Belcher, which means the Big Game Hunter will come out, and then that means Ragnaros will have to come out, which means FlyBird might have to play Ragnaros to Ragnaros.
It's thinking very far ahead.
I'm analyzing the state of the board because most likely the strongest play is a Molten Giant and Taunt here.
It is. It is.
So that way you don't die to combo.
Yeah, you can't rag here.
Oh, I guess you can Siphon Soul. Never mind. Siphon Soul tap still puts you at lethal damage for a 14 damage combo.
I like Molten Giant Sludge Belcher here.
you can't tap either because I think if you tap, then you just die to. You die to just a tree ants killing you.
And then going at that line of play that you said, there is a chance down the line if Magicamy has to continue reacting to.
Well, Big Game Hunter. I thought Big Game Hunter was going to come out here. Doesn't have to. Because Molten Giant. Actually, he really doesn't have to, because Molten Giant will have to probably smack into Ancient of Lore
So
to prevent the combo.
yeah, Ancient of Lore, just to draw, try and draw into some more answers here.
You might be able to leverage the fear of the combo, even if you don't have it, against this Molten Giant, and then because the big problem with Big Game Hunter is there's no play after it. There's actually just nothing.
Yeah.
So Ancient of Lore seems to be a lot more versatile, and it also plays into the fear, because it's like, Amy's like, oh, he didn't have combo, but now he might definitely have combo, that kind of thing, because you're 3 cards deeper in your deck by the next turn.
And you're not in any danger. He's at 30 health. Or, 30 effective health here.
Ragnaros?
What?
That's it ragtime? I wasn't even considering it. Oh, man.
You've betrayed me before, Rag.
I mean, if this just hits the 1-2, and it misses the Molten Giant. Oh! Oh!
Oh, no.
Oh! It's so painful. Oh, but you know what? Interestingly enough, let's see.
Just Molten Giant, Siphon Soul, and kill the,
Yeah,
Harrison
she
Jones.
can actually just do this and stay at a combo range.
Yeah.
I thought she had to give something up, but she's going to be perfectly fine.
That's
Now-
really unfortunate. for
But it's okay.
FlyBird.
This is where the Big Game Hunter comes in to play.
Yeah. And has a really great follow-up as well this turn.
Yeah.
With a full 10 mana, can also play the Ancient of Lore. So it makes it decent. Pile of Shredder, swipe.
But, I mean, there's another... Let's see. I'm trying to think. There's no way to play around combo here, unfortunately. She doesn't have a Dark Bomb.
If you tap, you're forced to
Defender.
Defender.
But
But
if
if you-
Defender option is very, very weak. So she might Shadow Flame.
And just hold.
Shadow Flame and then tap into Zombie Chow taunt. That's really interesting in this matchup. Oh my goodness.
You lay Mal'Ganis, you're just... That's another way for you to be safe from the combo. Because they... without BGH, unless FlyBird runs 2, which I don't know if he does, even then you wouldn't be able to BGH plus combo in the same turn.
That's so interesting. You know what? She should also silence her Zombie Chow, and then Defender both of those targets.
And you wouldn't have enough mana to Shadow
Oh,
Flame.
right. Actually, you're right. She doesn't have enough mana. to
She
Shadow
can't
Flame.
Zombie Chow, Defender of Vargas, Shadow Flame regardless.
Oh, I forgot about the 2
no.
mana being tapped. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, if combo is drawn,
Ho 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 ho.
yeah, I think that was definitely a miscalculation
Yeah.
on Amy's part here.
Yeah.
But fortunately, it seems like FlyBird doesn't have it.
She had a moment of stress, followed by a slight moment of
Yeah.
temporary relief.
It's like oh gosh. And I think if you're FlyBird, you're taking a very, you're definitely comforted by this. It's like an act of desperation.
He doesn't seem very comforted.
Well, I think he should just I think he should continue digging
And
for the combo here.
he has to. It's
Well, his alternative is to load up a Spectre Knight board here.
Yeah.
With Pilot Shredder.
Well, eventually, I mean, I guess one of your win conditions can just be a Saboteur by itself, but... This could still be problematic for Amy, though, because every turn she has to spend almost her entire turn playing around combo. She can never gain her own initiative.
Well, unless Druid whiffs.
But he's been whiffing.
So, Amy had the opportunity of playing an Iron Beak Owl last turn and silencing her own Zombie Chow. Now she has an opportunity to clear the board again. So if you silence the opposing Pilot Shredder, attack into the Spectre Knight, and then Shadow Flame your Ancient Watcher.
Then you die to combo.
You die to combo. You're gonna be dead to combo either way, which means it's starting to time to evaluate whether or not you should even play around it. Now, also there's 8 damage on board, which means you might die either way if you leave up those minions, so you have to clear it.
So once again, FlyBird is on a combo piece to win the game and tie it up at 2. There it is!
There it is. So he ties it up, and Druid is going to win this game against Handlock. And I have a feeling maybe we'll see it again, because I don't think Magicamy is going to switch.
Oh no.
Because I think FlyBird definitely had a pretty good start. He had Wild Growth into a pretty good curve, and lining up good answers. And of course, Magicamy also...
that type of deck is, at least some variation of it, I think will always be strong. But Warrior's already starting to... Maybe it's a bit preemptive to say, but you made the argument yesterday or early in the week, and I definitely agree that it might be the beginning of Warrior Control's decline. Would be my novel.
Well, with a hand like that, Warrior's not going to be doing much. Remember what happened the previous game. No removal whatsoever, and Warrior just got overrun like crazy. It was a stomp. Magicamy doesn't actually have anything much better either. She's on the coin, which allows her to tap. And also the Zombie Chow is nifty too, because it allows her to keep tapping while still being able to play something.
And being able to tear at the armor a little bit as well.
Ah, now that she has the Iron Beak Owl, guess you can... I do like the idea of the Iron Beak Owl being able to come out and, or sorry, the Ancient Watcher being able to dunk some fools.
This Zombie Chow could be pretty problematic though.
It'll be annoying. It's not gonna be problematic yet.
I think those are the same things.
Well, now it's a case where Magicamy will play this giant, and now she can coin out the Iron Beak Owl to silence the Acolyte from drawing cards, and then keep the armor at a very reasonable count, even to the point where if you have shield block, you can't even shield slam anymore.
Yeah, you wouldn't even be able to shield block armor up shield slam, because you'd only be at 5 mana.
Exactly.
Forcing your opponent to have execute or bust.
It's execute or bust. No.
Wow.
That's not good. FlyBird is very visibly frustrated by not having the removals lined up. Now, Sludge Belcher does stall for some time. And thankfully, this Acolyte still can fight, even though he will never speak a word again.
Dramatic. Wow. And
Doctor, tell me about his condition. Well, the Acolyte's gonna make it, but he'll never speak again.
That's going to be included into Frodan's novel that he's writing about Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Chapter 5.
Well, I think this is a really powerful opportunity to leverage Farseer to heal the Mountain Giant afterwards.
Back the damage from clearing off this Sludge Belcher.
Also, Mal'Ganis is really cool, but we have yet to see him even played once.
It just seems like it's a style card.
Yeah.
As Frodan would put it, sex appeal.
Ah, there's the execute. So, actually, FlyBird can draw cards and execute, and this is it's a way for him to recover the board here. Otherwise, this would have gotten way out of control. It still kind of is in a sense. Like the handlock, as a result, is the one taking charge, and pretty soon, there's going to be repetitive damage being done.
Yeah. I mean, at least getting some value out of one of these Acolytes is going to go a long way, and getting him out of the way early too,
right,
is going to be good. And it's nowhere near as bad of a position as he was in the last game, where he just wasn't drawing into any of his removal.
Oh, yikes.
Wow.
That's again another tough spot to be in. So Magicamy can now push out a full health Drake with 10 HP. And I suppose you kill off this Kotas in case gets another execute, right?
Yeah, and you can't even like Shield Maiden, Shield Slam, or anything here.
I think you have to Dr. Boom.
That's the Dr. Boom turn.
Yep.
Which, of course, playing Dr. Boom on turn 7 is good, but when you don't have a board to begin with, and the handlock's the one controlling, and
that's funny.
Wow.
Do you just Dr. Boom right back? No, that can't be the right play. I've always wondered about that, because for a couple of days on ladder when Dr. Boom first came back, oh, is it?
Well, look at the rest of her hand.
Some people are like, oh, just Dr. Boom, you're Dr. Boom, and then you're going to be in a comfortable spot too.
Her hand is just so situational. She had 10 cards. She had to play something, and nothing else seemed appealing.
Fair enough. I mean, Twilight Drake killing Dr. Boom is really good. It's like a 4-mana removal.
Yeah.
Alright, these booms.
Well, this could be a Shield Maiden Shield Slam play.
Well, do you want to damage the Shield Maiden at all? I think you'd let the bombs go flying first, right?
You wouldn't want them to damage the Shield Maiden, but at the same time, you would might want to increase the likelihood that they hit the Twilight Drake as opposed to the Dr. Boom. And if they hit your face,
good point, good point.
And if they hit your face, then you won't have the armor enough to be able to shield slam the Dr. Boom, which was the plan in the first place.
Good point, good point, good point. Alright. Here goes the merry-go-round. Ah, nice. Nicely done.
Yeah, I like that decision to actually attack into the Twilight Drake for the first one, because that reduces the chance that one of the Boombot that you kill will come back and kill your other Boombot. But I guess it wouldn't matter in the long run, because you're going to trade it in.
So, in the end, Magicammy's Boombots didn't do much, but FlyBird got exactly what he needed. And now we're back to square one, where the Warrior took initiative on the board. And it's a little uncomfortable here for Amy. She has full 10 cards, right?
Yeah, you can Loatheb.
It's pretty much the only thing you can do. Loatheb and Ancient Watcher.
I was thinking of a cheeky play where you could like double Dark Bomb tap.
It's not really cheeky, as it's just like, you know, inefficient.
Well, it would like preserve your Loatheb body, I guess, but I just don't see Dark Bombs having much value as the game goes on. Well, I guess they do.
I wonder if Melganis will come out here. I feel like he's gonna have like no impact because it's just gonna get BGH.
Yeah.
This big game hunter will just completely devour it. Oh, well that's a pretty good draw. Because now you can use the Ironbeak Owl's Silence and then Defender of Argus.
It's pretty good.
You also have the availability of tapping.
And then it would make a pretty suboptimal decision where to put that Gorehowl.
Right.
Because either way, you'd be attacking into a very low health creature. You wouldn't be making use of the higher charges. And taking a lot of damage.
Okay, well, Shield Block not exactly appetizing. You have two other weapons, and that's going to be sitting in the back pocket until Gorehowl is going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
You also have Whirlwind. In fact, that Ironbeak Owl is all that's standing between FlyBird and victory right now. Sweet, sweet victory.
Yeah. I suppose these are the inconsistencies of Gorehowl. If you use the Gorehowl earlier and get a hand clogged full of weapons, but it gives you so much extra reach. Sometimes.
Do you want a Whirlwind to kill off this 5-1? I guess if it kills... the armor smith that does the job for you.
I think you need to activate her.
Yeah, it's true.
You need to find a hold on to some way to activate. And it's going to be awkward since you're not going to use the Deathbite for a while.
Oh, what?
What?
No, that was probably have to be a misclick. I think you want to hover as Whirlwind.
Okay.
Wait, Fiery War Axe over, but why? No, he's trolling us. Because they're just like, there's no reason to do that. Like, literally none.
Maybe he's trying to play into some mind games here.
Yeah.
Hovering over a card so that...
Oh. Yeah, that could be the case here.
FlyBird next level.
But I'm pretty sure Magicamy is just going to drop this Ancient Heal bot that's in the far left. And then just Dark Bomb.
Okay. Well, still very, very close.
It's close, but then going up to 21 is going to make it pretty much out of range.
Yeah.
And then now it's like FlyBird's like, ah, well, now I have to set up another way. Jiraxis is still not even in the hand, so Harrison Jones is going to sit this one for a while.
Well, what can you do here? You need to start worrying about how much that Ancient Watcher is going to be doing to you if you don't clear it off. But at the same time, using that Gorehowl charge doesn't feel great. Using the Whirlwind, not optimal either.
I think you can...
I think Harrison Jones might come out.
No, I like setting up... I like Whirlwind and then like hit the face and then like Death Spite.
Okay. Because then you're...
Oh, well I guess maybe not hit the face. Maybe just equip Death Spite and then hit the face. I'm not sure. It's very tricky. Just because you want to start setting up, you still don't have a way to lethal your opponent. I guess he's just going to play the control game in long term.
I don't think there's much of a... Well, aside from the mana, which I guess is a big deal, setting up the Deathbite is...
Harrison Jones? I mean, it makes sense because it's very clear that people won't play Jiraxis for a long time.
This gives Amy that window, the opening, to play Jiraxis with a little bit more confidence.
Ooh. Ah, well, his opponent has Big Game Hunter, but Ragnaros normally would make a pretty significant impact here. So Ragnaros will basically be an 8 damage shot to the face.
And you have to clear off this Harrison here.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it'd be...
It's too risky to leave him up with 9 damage potential.
Yeah. This Cruel Taskmaster on a Gromesh would be game over.
So with Big Game Hunter, what does that leave FlyBird with? Basically an opportunity to set up Death Spite, which I'd be okay with. I think if you Big Game Hunter, hit the face, and then set up Death Spite, it's a pretty reasonable turn.
Yeah. Because then you're leaving the 4 power on the board. And with both Dark Bombs gone...
Well, actually, maybe you just set up Death Spite without hitting the face first.
Just to play around Bone Jets more?
Well, no. You used that Death Spite charge to attack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. I was suggesting use up Gorehowl just for value, but maybe you equip Death Spite first and then attack. So that because you do have that 4 attack on board.
What now?
And he's trying to think the best course of action right here.
Right.
Before he makes the big GH play. But it is pretty much automatic. But what he does after that is...
Right. This is still up in the air. If he attacks, or if he equips a new weapon and starts attacking.
Or just passes.
So... I mean, Hellfire clears it, and then you can still play Mountain Giant.
Indeed.
Full mana, full health.
Just back and forth, really.
FlyBird doesn't have a way to deal with it. His best opportunity is just to go aggressive with Alex Straza.
Which I think is the best course of action. Now, having the Brawl in his hand is pretty good, just because he has that fallback in case the board gets a little out of control. But I mean, these weapons have been clogging his hand for so long. The fireworks and the death bite just haven't. With the gore howl, they've been sitting dead in his hand for about 7-8 turns now.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely has. So, well, Magicamy is definitely going to be tempted to big game hunter and then play like the Twilight Drakes. Mal'Ganis is so interesting too.
Or just trade in Mal'Ganis.
Because he just like FlyBird just demonstrated he couldn't deal with the giant, right?
Yeah. I just like Twilight Drake Siphon Soul here.
Twilight Drake Siphon Soul.
Or just big game hunter.
Oh, actually, that's really good. Twilight Drake Siphon Soul.
Or you may not think that you're gonna get much mileage out of big game hunter for the rest of the game. I guess they serve.
But if you play big game hunter, then you most certainly have to
Sunfury.
taunt.
Yeah.
And then that is your last taunt.
Yeah. And if you're gonna do that line of play, then you don't play the Twilight Drake, I think, to better play around Brawl. So I think Twilight Drake Siphon Soul will probably be best.
I like your analysis, and I think it's spot on. Now Magicamy is going to make a push for potentially ending the game. Oh, yikes.
That draw is essentially useless.
Do you brawl just so you eliminate 4 power on the board?
Frodan, that hurts.
I mean, you attack face, obviously.
Yeah.
And this is where, like, Mal'Ganis is actually super sick, right?
Yeah. What can your opponent do to finish you off there?
Oh, Jiraxis! Ah, that's, okay. So his opponent might have cool Taskmaster. Wait, this is really interesting. So what do you go with now? Mal'Ganis, right?
Yes.
Because he would have to... The only way that he can kill off Mal'Ganis is to execute him. And the way to execute him is to attack into Mountain Giant. Because you can't attack the face, it's immune.
Oh yeah.
And if he can't attack Mountain Giant because he died, the only way to do is to shield block. And shield block means you can't play Grommash.
Wow. Yeah, so Mal'Ganis would be the way to go. There would be no possible way.
That is the checkmate right here. If Mal'Ganis comes down, and Magicamy has come to that conclusion.
I don't know if FlyBird has seen this yet. This is the first time we've seen Mal'Ganis play.
Checkmate! This game is over. There's nothing you can do as FlyBird's position, and Magicamy has punched her ticket to the finals.
We were wondering what role Mal'Ganis played in this deck. And it's just that trump card. It's just that checkmate card.
Right.
In matchups where...
Realistically, he might not ever actually get any minion kills. Because it's like, as soon as he gets played, it's like it's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, exactly.
And FlyBird with the honorable Sudoku, which means Magicamy goes to the finals. Setting up Hyped versus Magicamy.